Alright guys, I'm not sure if you can see me, but I should be back again. So guys, as you might have streams, when I do streams early in the morning, or sorry, early during the day, it seems like there's just too much traffic going on. It becomes too crowded and my Wi-Fi just completely gives up, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer these last two super chat questions. You can try to send off to that as well, but I cannot guarantee that this internet will hold up, okay? So I want to answer the question from Spoon. In reference to your fuel video, does fuel in the wing during landing, not takeoff, also reduce the chance of structural stress to landing impact? Yeah, I mean they work exactly in the same way. The wings will take up a lot of lift during landing as well with full flaps, and we do tend to have fuel in the wings still about 2 to 3 tons normally when we're coming in for landing as well. So yeah, it does work as a counterweight during landing as well, and it also helps with flutter. Okay, so if you know, flutter is basically the unwanted movement up and down of the wings. It can become so bad that it actually causes some structural damage on the wings, and the wings, sorry, the fuel in the wings will work as a counterweight to that as well, which is something I forgot to mention inside my video. But yeah, it does help absolutely. Sebastian Hallin, hi, is there any situation where you can obey an order from ATC? I guess you mean disobey. And do you prefer the A350 or the 787? Love your channel. Thank you, Sebastian. Yes, you can disobey ATC orders if you're in a TCAS RA, for example, a resolution advisory. So if you've gotten yourself in a situation where the TCAS is telling you to do something and ATC is telling you to do something else, then you can disobey the order from ATC. Otherwise, what I do sometimes is if you come into, let's say that coming into Barcelona TMA, and there is some CBs, some thunderstorms in there. There's going to be loads and loads of radio traffic because all of the different aircrafts want to try to avoid the CBs. This means that it can effectively become very, very crowded on the radio. And if I am heading towards a thunderstorm and I cannot get into the radio, then what I will do is I will turn. Okay, I will turn away because I have to maintain the safety of the aircraft. And then as soon as I can, I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell ATC that, listen, I know you told me to continue to watch this. I had to divert, so I'm on this heading now to avoid. That's it. Because at the end, the safety of the aircraft is always going to be my responsibility. So yeah, but generally speaking, to disobey air traffic control, as in to read back what you're going to do and then not do it, is something you cannot do. That will create chaos, complete chaos. All right. So it's much better to question it and say, listen, unable, I cannot do that. Then they will have to come up with a different thing. So sometimes they will tell us to, all right, maintain 2,000 feet until reach flight level 350. If you're really heavy, you can't maintain 3,000 feet per minute. So then you will say unable, and they will say, all right, in that case, turn right heading 020 to avoid a potential traffic issue. Okay, but you always tell them that, listen, I can do this and I cannot do that. So this is it. So we work together with our traffic control to find a reasonable solution to anything that happens. Every type of video, thank you very much for your support, and thank you for helping out with moderating as well. It's really appreciated. Does jets have anti-gravity? No, we do not have anti-gravity. You know, there's loads of these conspiracy theories that I've seen lately coming up about jet engines not using fuel, jet engines using compressed air, or being some kind of anti-gravitational devices and stuff like that. The problem with all of these is that it's not founded in any way in any kind of serious physiology, like physics thinking. You need to understand physics, and you need to apply the laws of physics. If you come up with something like anti-gravitational forces, or using compressed air in the tanks in order to drive, I mean, it just does not work, and it's really exhausting actually to sit and try to counteract these claims, because anyone who believes in that just does not have the knowledge needed in order to keep that discussion going. So that's why I've just stopped. It's the same with the flat earthers, like the people who think that the earth is actually flat. So what, we would be the only celestial body that would be flat then. You know, all of the other planets and the moon and anything else that you see, they're round and they're a sphere, but the earth would for some reason be flat then. you know, that's a problem. You can't really go in to have a serious discussion with someone who believes in something like, you know, fairy tales, and that's why I never go into that. Right, cool. So let's see. And see, there's some Tony Reedman. Hi, I'm doing my PPL next month. Any advice or help to give me? Yeah, just enjoy it. PPL is great. It's people instructing PPL will know that you haven't flown before and you don't have, you know, a lot of background knowledge. So they will start at the level that anyone would start at to become a pilot. So don't worry about it. You can start reading up on your theoretical pack that you should have gotten by now, or that you would get. Start reading up on that in order to know the theory behind, but then just listen to your instructors, listen to the feedback they're giving you, and work on it. Okay, so there's not much I can't give you. Like, here is a little nugget that you can use in order to become much better. PPL is supposed to be the basics knowledge. It's supposed to be really enjoyable. You would love every second of it, all the way up to your when you go solo the first time, which is going to be an absolutely fantastic experience. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride is what I would really give as an advice. I know that sucks as an advice, but it's the best I can give you, and you will understand why when it's time for you to do your CPL, when things really start to heat up. You know, when the technical issues become more advanced, when the theoretical stuff becomes more advanced, all of that. A PPL is something that anyone is supposed to be able to go through. Like your grandpa is supposed to be able to get a PPL to be out flying with his friends. So, you know, just enjoy it would be my the best advice I can give you. Right, guys, let's see. I'm going to take some more questions here from the Mentour Aviation app. Mentor, which country institution will be the best to have a degree of pilot course at cheap cost? Ooh, very hard to say which countries. I know that Poland has some very good schools at very good prices at the moment. That changes, you know. Sometimes Spain is very cheap. Sometimes Poland is very cheap in the European Union. When it comes to Asia, I'm not sure because I don't have any figures from there. America has always, I mean, traditionally people have always gone to the US to do the pilot training, but then you now have to factor in the cost of conversion your licenses as well, which kind of raises that a little bit. So the simple answer is I don't know exactly, but I do think the most important lesson to get from this is that check around. You know, if you have the possibility to move to a different country to do your pilot course and you can save 30,000-40,000 euro, then maybe it's worth doing that and maybe pay a little bit more in housing than staying at your local club and paying a lot more. There are possibilities to shop around now, guys, but be very careful. Make sure that you do proper research. This is why I have made this, to a certain extent, this forum in the Mentour Aviation app as well. If you go in there and you search for the video flight schools, under flight schools there, you will find all of the users who have gone to different flight schools all over the world and are choosing to share their opinion. You can just go in there, you can find whichever user is going to the flight school that you are interested in, and then you just add, tag his name or her name in the chat, and you'll be able to speak to them and get a contact to them, and maybe go off and have a private chat somewhere. But this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure that you guys get a possibility to create a network, even if you don't have a dad who's a pilot or something like that. So I hope that will be working. This is what I'm working towards. All right, guys, I'm going to kind of round this up fairly soon, as long as my internet is staying up. Let's see, you take some questions here from the actual chat as well. Sir, advise me on a good flying school in America. Once again, I will give you the advice to go into the chat and talk to people inside of the app for that, because I haven't done any training in America, so I would be a fool sitting here trying to give you an advice on that. But we have loads of people inside of the chat that are in America right now doing training, that you can just go in, find their username, and start talking to them. Is the APS worth in comparison to the MCC? I think so. I think that the APS is the way forward. I think that the APS course is the perfect bridge course between MPL and CPL. As in, it is made to be a good quality course that brings you from your CPL flying, where you've just been flying smaller aircraft, and prepare you for your airline experience or your type rating. In the case of, for example, the Ryanair APC course, which is an APS course that I did an interview with Ryanair's head of training a few months ago, they actually include the type rating as part of the course. So you do a jet orientation course, an MCC course, and then the type rating, all based on exactly the same SOPs, which is a huge advantage, right? It means that you already from the beginning, when you start learning how to cooperate in the cockpit and fly in a two-pilot environment, you do it according to the profiles and the procedures that you will eventually use when you start flying. So yeah, I do think that this is a great way forward. I do think that there's been way too many kind of obscure MCC courses that hasn't actually been any real requirements on what an MCC course is supposed to be. So there's been anything from flying in a shady old King Air simulator somewhere to a full-fledged Boeing 737 simulator, and the only thing you got was the same, an MCC course, an MCC certificate. Now you can start to kind of see how the weed is being parted, and you get to see which courses are actually high quality, that have to come up to some kind of standard, and then the MCC courses still might be really, really good, but they might also be really poor, and that has been a problem. I've gotten some feedback from airline managers and people who are working in the recruitment centers of different airlines, and they've all said the same. It's really sad to see when people have spent so much money on getting good, proper training, and then at the end the money has run out and they've gone for a cheaper version of an MCC course, and ended up with an MCC course that just did not prepare them for the airline interview and the sim assessment. So then they come in, they have all of that experience behind them, they do a sim assessment which is poor because they haven't learned properly, and then they fail the sim assessment, which is the final step into the airline. So this is why an IPS course is a good idea, and this is why I endorse it, and I think it's a good idea, and I really endorse it in case the airlines are paying for it. Okay, the more the airlines are paying for, the better it is. Cool. So a couple of last questions now. If ATC asks you to fly heading, would they prefer you to follow that track or that heading? Aircraft at different speeds will have different crosswind tracks. Love your channel. No, if they ask you for a heading, it's a heading. Okay, it's not a track. If they ask you for a track, that's a different thing. But if they ask you to say follow heading 270, that's what they want. If they see that that is not bringing you where they want you to, they are going to tell you to take a different heading. But it's always going to be headings. I've never had, except for maintain runway track that you might get sometimes, I never get a track. It's always headings. Thank you very much. John DiMano, thank you very much for supporting. Jordan Coles, I have flown from Newquay, RAF St. Morgan soon. I know you've been there. What do you think of it? I think it's very wide. I think it's a cool airport. I haven't been there for years. That's in maybe 12 years now since I was there last time. So I don't know. It might have happened a lot there. But I remember it was tricky because the ATC was using meters, and you had to switch from meters to feet at a certain point and things like that because it was an RAF base. But yeah, I thought it was great fun. It was a really short flight from Stansted that I used to do, Stansted to Newquay, which is, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that. So enjoy. Great to see that you're progressing. Right, guys, so I'm going to go and start feeding my family. I hope that you've enjoyed this little live stream. It was a little bit earlier than I usually do it. Now, go and check out the website, mentorpilot.com. Easy to remember. So just mentorpilot.com. There's a chat in there as well. It's not connected to the Mentour Aviation app chat yet, okay? I'm going to talk to my developers and see if we can do something about that to coordinate them. The two different, but you can share things like videos and pictures and stuff inside of the website chat. So I highly recommend you to go and check it out, and also to give feedback to both me and Miguel about what you would like to see inside of the website. So, that's it, guys. Have an absolutely awesome evening. I think I will have a bonus video for you this week. Okay, I know I keep saying that, but this week I actually have one prepared that might happen at any given day. All right, so just make sure that you stay tuned to the channel and get into the Mentour Aviation app as always. Keep yourself active in there. I love to see you. I love to answer your questions and to participate. So wherever you are out there in the world, have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.